This week, it's just myself and James. We talk about Northampton Saints' fantastic win in the Premiership final, the qualifying of the Canadian Grand Prix. We have the first little quiz of the season, minus Jordan, but we do have his take on it. And then we look again at James's wacky world of sport. James, hello.
Good evening. How are you? You good?
Yeah, very well. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Good. It's been a fairly busy week. I mean, we'll start probably Formula One just because the race hasn't taken place yet. It's in Canada, so we get a nice evening race, which for me, sit down, have my tea, watch the race. I love it. But qualifying, exceptionally exciting. I know you're not the biggest of F1 fans, so you've probably got no idea what's happened.
Nope.
But in a nutshell, it hasn't been dominated by Max Verstappen. Yes, he is second, but George Russell put him in a British sandwich with Lando Norris third. Lewis Hamilton was on course for a very good time, but a little bit of a driver error, comes seventh. So Mercedes have got some serious pace. But with Canada, as you saw from like when we've been into America, the weather can change and just have a downpour for 10 minutes and then.
Do you know what? I saw something the other day about the rain there, and oh my god, it was biblical.
Yeah, on Friday and the practice, it just so it does that quite a lot down there. So, you kind of it just happens sort of so often, if that makes sense. So, it's one of those who knows what can happen. But
so is Verstappen pole? Is he?
George Russell. George Russell got pole, and then Verstappen second. They actually both got exactly the same time, but because George Russell set it first, he got first place. But right down to the thousandth of a second. So, so incredible.
So you got two Brits in the top three, haven't you?
Yeah, with Lando there, and then Oscar in fourth. So it set up Danny Rick coming in strong as well. So for you, this will bore you, but an old driver called Jacques Villeneuve, he's won a world title in the 90s.
I know Jacques Villeneuve.
Yeah. Very credible Formula One pundit, and he basically come out, gave Danny Rick a bit of grief on Friday, saying that he's past it. He's only there because of his personality. He's not really done anything, and then he's had probably the best weekend of his return to Formula One. So he had an interview, and at the end of it, he said, "Yeah, I know people have sort of said stuff about me, but I've had a very strong weekend. I'm 2/10 off a pole, eat shit," and walked off.
Nice, respect that.
Exactly what we want to see. So But sort of going into your line of sport, yesterday Northampton Saints beat Bath for their.
Do you know what? I watched it, and it was a really good game. It was Bath very nearly come back at the end as well. They just lost possession in that final play.
Yeah, even with that red card, it's still. Yeah. We've seen it a lot this year. The red cards and teams run off with 40 points, but
it was very good.
Yeah,
yesterday I thoroughly enjoyed that.
And then Courtney Law's, what a send-off. You don't get a better sends-off than that, do you? Winning the... Did you see his interview at the end? Afterwards?
No, I didn't. I'd left the pub by that point.
He couldn't have come out to the press, no top and ski goggles. And he must have had a few bottles too many in the changing room. So
No, I think it's a great for Northampton Saints. So happy as well. Number 10, Smith. I think he's I said it a few weeks ago. He's in for his next number 10.
Without a doubt. Yeah.
It's a shame for Finn Russell for Bath, because he's probably the world's best 10 at the minute. In my opinion, anyway.
It's interesting because Dan Bigger left Saints last season. He's gone out to France, and then they've gone and won a title this year. You've got to. I don't know. Would he have rather have stayed another year for a little bit less money and won a title?
No, he took the money.
Well, he did, but what I'm saying is, would you, they get enough money, don't they? But
Yeah.
So, but US Opens this week as well. And I love watching my golf. I don't know how much I know you've tried to play a little bit in the past, but
tried being the clinical word there.
Word, yeah. So it's US Open. One of my favourites. Again, all the majors are fantastic. Scotty Scheffler's favourite. I had a quick look at this one. Roy McIlroy's second favourite, and he hasn't won a Masters for 10 years, and he's not really.
Has he not?
No, he hasn't won a Masters for 10 years. So got second 2 years ago in the Masters, but so he's not really sort of
not really done much, has he?
No, he's won a few.
He's won a few little tournaments, but when it comes to the big ones, the Masters.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything for 10 years. And I just kind of think, how can you keep putting someone? He's always up there as one of the favourites going into it, but he's never.
That's the name, isn't it?
Yeah.
They hear the name and they think, oh, he's going to do well, but.
Yeah, I mean, Matty Fitzpatrick, winner from 2 years ago, 40-1. The only one I think from that outside, sort of the big names, Brooks Koepka, Xander Schauffele. The only sort of outsider for me is Justin Thomas at 33-1, who's hit a little bit of form coming into it. Everyone else is just your normal, you people you'd never really heard of that just sort of flitter around. The ranked 100th in the world and things
so
like
when
that.
Does that start on Thursday then, does it?
Yeah, the 13th. Yeah, Thursday the 13th. So the day before the two big ones. The Euros and the Copa Americas starts on Friday as well. That's getting probably a little bit of overlooking because of the obvious.
I don't think we really do. We really follow the Copa America here in the UK? I've never really followed it. I never even
seen it on anything. The thing with it is it's so kickoffs are always at 11 midnight, 1 a.m. 2 a.m. kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, usually it's on BBC, like iPlayer and things.
Okay.
But I mean, Argentina are current champions. For me, I think the team to watch will be Uruguay.
See, that amazes me because I watched something the other week about Uruguay. It's only a small country. They don't have a high population, yet they still manage to pump out these phenomenal players.
Yeah, they don't
have a high population compared to Argentina, Brazil, and
but they played against Mexico on Thursday night, and they beat them 4-0. And their manager. Would you like to hazard a guess of their manager?
Who Uruguay's manager is?
Yeah.
I remember hearing something about this. That's not Scolari, is it?
No, but I think you're on the right lines in what you're thinking. Marcelo Bielsa, former Leeds manager.
Yes, that's right. Yes, I did hear that. I heard that on TalkSport the other day. Yeah. Bielsa, yeah.
And some of their goals they scored going into in that game, it was vintage, what they'd call Bielsa ball, playing out from the back. Literally start off with a keeper, 25 passes, passed into the back of the net. Looked incredible.
Yeah.
So if they can, that would break down some of the bigger teams. And, they qualified from the group with a win, 4 wins, a draw and a loss. So obviously, I think they'll probably be all right. I think they'll be all right. I think, Brazil aren't what they used to be. And
no.
I mean, who else really? Argentina,
Colombia, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see beyond that. If you ask him,
Well, the night that was played, our team played that night as well and got a incredibly disappointing 0-0 draw against Gibraltar.
Awful.
So I think I read somewhere that in the last 13 games that Gibraltar have played, their goal aggregate is 50-0. And yet Wales couldn't even put one in the net.
Yeah,
and that's quite worrying, really.
Yeah, it is. For me, it's I think I read the last two teams to fail to score against Gibraltar is St. Lucia and Grenada.
Yeah, there you go.
So
it's awful, but it's shocking from our point of view, from a Wales point of view. But going towards the Euros a little bit, considering it starts in a few days, England have had a couple of warm-up games, and yet they lost to Iceland on Friday. And I watched that game as well, and England were absolutely horrendous.
They've done the same thing now for years, where they pass it around, they get to the edge of the area, and then they haven't got an easy ball on, so they pass it back around the back, go around the other side, and they lack so much creativity, so much creativity, and there's no identity, there's no style of play, there's no identity of how they play.
It seemed very much, and I said this over the years with Tottenham Hotspur, and and it seems to be trickling into that England team. And yes, he is a good player, he's a great player, but it's Harry Kane syndrome, where they're getting the ball up, and there's loads of options out there, but the only one they seem to want to take is, let's get it to Harry, and if they can't, okay, let's go all the way back and start again.
Yeah,
and that's ever so frustrating to watch. If England play like that in the Euros, they're not even going to get out of the group.
It sounds horrible, but if Iceland can hit them on a break and sit back against them and contain them for 90 minutes at Wembley, Slovenia can do it.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. So
absolutely.
It is a little bit worrying, especially when you've sent someone like Jack Grealish home.
Well, this is what I was going to say. Do you think the England players were trying to make a point to Southgate because I don't get Gareth Southgate's decisions in dropping players like Grealish, Maddison. I don't get it.
I don't think that
Rashford. I get Rashford. He's been absolutely pony this year.
But I wouldn't as a player. I wouldn't. It was like when Spurs were going to throw the game against City for them to win the league. It's nonsense. You want to win. I mean, even now, I play a little bit on a Monday night, and I don't care. I want to win every single game, regardless. And I'm not, a professional athlete, so I just want to win. No, I've nearly have been, but I just want to win everything all the time, and I just can't think that Kane wouldn't want to beat Iceland. I just feel that I watched an interview with Southgate, and he talks about the reason for keeping Harry he lost Harry Maguire, and he sort of said that he would have been back. He'd have missed, I think, every group game and maybe the second round, but he's kept Luke Shaw in because he only misses 1 to potentially 2 games, and they're already spread thin across defenders with injuries. But yet he sent Jared Braithwaite home, who was part of the Everton team that kept the most clean sheets of an English centre half.
Doesn't make any sense. So I think it's a very brave decision to leave out who he has and to take who he has. I mean, he's taken a lot of players that don't have many caps. Well, I know you've got to start somewhere, but when you've got the players that you've got, and I don't get it.
The big one's Adam Wharton. If Adam Wharton plays, you'll see just a generational player. I said it a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
keep an eye on him. He City is sniffing round now. He's 20 years old. He made his debut 18 months ago. So, just keep on the topic of football quickly. Premier League voted this week around the VAR.
So I wanted to talk to you about this, and I've seen what they're looking at changing how VAR is used. Yes, brilliant. It was 19 to 1, wasn't it? Only one team said they didn't want it, and that was the team that obviously asked for that vote. But going forward, those 19 teams that said yes, they cannot complain about VAR next year.
Well, if that decision goes against them, they release. I think you guys did it earlier in the season when you released a statement against VAR. You can't do
it now. No,
can't do anything.
no, you've just got to go with it and accept that. Don't complain about X, Y, and Z. You've decided to keep it. That's it.
Exactly that. So, going on to the weekly quiz. So, Jordan's not here. However, I have been with Jordan yesterday, and I've put these to him,
Right,
and I have his answers. So, I've gone for highest attendances. Nearest to will get the point. So.
Okay.
We haven't spoken forfeits yet. We'll think of that as we come. We've got a prolonged period. I know what Jordan will be, but so to start off with one of your sports. I know you don't speak about it massively here, but you played it a lot growing up. Rugby union. What is the highest attendance ever at a rugby union match?
Okay. Are we international? Are we domestic? Are we UK? Where are we?
It's on an international stage, so it doesn't have to. We're not talking Newcastle versus Bath. We're talking. It could be a game in America. It could be a game in New Zealand, in Australia, in South Africa. Okay. The highest attendance of any official rugby union match.
I am going to say 93,000.
Ooh, you take that one.
Oh.
Jordan said 90. It's 109,000.
Do you know what? I was thinking 106, to be fair.
And it was New Zealand versus Australia in the year 2000.
So where on earth did they play that game for that many fans?
Do you know what? I had the. It was in New Zealand. I had the exact stat on that.
Okay.
Next one.
Yep.
Cricket.
Cricket.
No, I know in most county league games you get about 6, so it's not going to be any of them games.
It's not going to be them, no. I am going to go for 102,000.
Jordan went with a very modest 60.
Okay.
And it has fallen to you again. It's 91,092. Australia versus England, 2013, Boxing Day at Melbourne.
Do you know what? I wouldn't have said that. I would have thought somewhere along like India, Pakistan, or something like that.
Yeah. I'm not sure they've got the stadiums for it more than anything.
No.
American football.
Oh, God. Now, I know some of these college ball games get a hell of a lot. I'm still going to go north of 100,000. I'm going to go 108,000.
Well, Jordan went with 100,000.
Right.
And it was the Bristol Motor Speedway Stadium. It was the Uni of Tennessee versus Virginia Tech.
Right.
And it's 130,035.
Goodness gracious me.
That's double Premier League fixtures.
Yeah.
But you're right. The highest ever noise recorded football game. NFL games don't get the attendances. The college games gets the attendances.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So there was 4. Jordan can't pull it back to a draw, but I just want to get yours.
Oh no, I want to smash him. I want to 4-0 him.
Volleyball.
That was is this quite recent?
Volleyball, James.
103,500.
Right. Well, Jordan went with 180,000.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, because we did talk about this a few months ago when it was set. It was a game at the Memorial Stadium. It was a college volleyball game.
Yeah.
It was 92,003.
Oh, I'll take that as well.
So yeah, clean sweep, 1-0 to you. What
Cracking.
we will do every week, I'll try and change it up a little bit with different things. On the Euro special, we'll go into a little bit more depth around the prediction of scores and I will be involved in that as well because it's a prediction of scores. So
Yep.
I don't have any inside information on that one.
Sounds good.
No worries. What has gone on in your world of sport this week?
Well, I've been clicking in and out of and having a little look at motor racing. It is a motor sport.
Right.
It is lawnmower racing. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I have. Where they modify these lawnmowers with ridiculously horse-powered engines.
Yep. And they set the track out with a load of hail bales, and they just hoss it around this track. And some of the crashes are pretty spectacular. Pretty spectacular. I mean, they have an endurance race as well, which is a 12-hour endurance race on these things, and they go for it. You know, you have competitors from France, Finland, the US, all over the place. But with the endurance, it's how many miles you can cover over that period of time, not necessarily where you finish in that, just how far you can do. And the current record is 354 miles.
In 12 hours?
In 12 hours on a lawnmower.
That's like 20 odd mile an hour for 12 hours.
Straight, yeah. On a lawnmower. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some, I've seen like where lorry races and it almost reminds me of. Do you ever watch the Red Bull soapbox racing?
Yes, yeah, that's quite good to watch. That is, I quite like that.
Yeah, I do, but it kind of reminds me of that with the hay bales and everything else, but
it's just they just hoss it around, so it's it's get on YouTube, have a little look. Some of the crashes are pretty spectacular.
Yeah, well, they will be because it's like almost like go-karts, isn't it? You're going to be flicking in and out of the things.
No, perfect stuff.
Well, we'll be back. We're back next week, but there will be an episode released on Friday for the Euros.
Yeah, the cheeky Euro special. Yeah.
Yeah, so which all three of us will be on, and then
sounds good.
We're back Sunday again. All three of us. Jordan will cover a little bit of the Canadian race, and then we'll go over the Masters and cover the first couple of days of the Euros, which will be out just before the first England game, but we'll have had the first Scotland game, obviously against Germany, which is the opener. So there'll be a few bits to talk about.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, no worries. Take care.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.